So it's National Album Day, as you may or may not have heard. And apparently the theme for this year's National Album Day are rock or rock bands. And I was thinking, I don't know whether you guys think this or not, why do we have to have a theme for a day to celebrate an album? Why do we have to have a genre for it? Why do we have to narrow it down? Because surely it's just a celebration of an album and whatever album that you like for whatever reason. Because it's such a broad umbrella, isn't it? Because I was talking to my mate Jay at work about this literally this afternoon. And we were saying, well, why do you put certain bands into certain categories? Because, you know, like some bands you class as, have been classed as rock, but I class them more as alternative. Some people class them as grunge, all of this, that and the other. And I'm not saying anyone's wrong and I'm not saying anyone's right, but I think by narrowing it down to saying, oh, the National Album Day is going to be on this, kind of takes away the elements of other bands or solo artists that have done albums, because surely it's about celebrating an album. So with that in mind, I'm going to talk about an album that I absolutely love. And that album that I'm talking about is by Graham Coxon, the guitarist with Blur, who went solo. And I am talking about this bad boy here, Happiness in Magazines. I think it's his 5th studio album, and it came out in 2004. Now, this album was produced by Stephen Street. For those of you who don't know who Stephen Street is, why don't you? Joking aside, he worked with the Smiths. He worked with the Cranberries. He did Blur's the really important Blur albums that really blew up for him. Is Modern Life is Rubbish, Park Life, Great Escape, Blur, 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 my favourite Blur album. So this album came out. So Graham had left Blur at this point. He'd done an album that had come out not long after he left Blur called The Kiss of the Morning, which great album. But this album, having Stephen Street on board, it's just absolutely phenomenal. This album, there's not many albums where you go, every single track on it is just absolutely superb. But Happiness in Magazines is one of them. I mean, you've got on here, you've got Freaking Out, you've got Spectacular. I mean, basically, it's just every track on there I absolutely love. And I think if I was to talk about, I was trying to narrow it down, one album that is absolutely top of its game, top of its tree, it would be Happiness in Magazines by Graham Coxon. And so I thought I'd share that. So what's your album that you absolutely love, worship, think's phenomenal? Answers in the comments. Cheers, guys.